Hello, Kristin. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you so much for agreeing to participate in conversations with Black women who coach. I really appreciate it. We've tried to talk a couple times, so I'm glad that I finally get to talk to you about Certified Africa and the coaching that you do. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. Like I said before, my name is Kristin Tellis Quaye. I actually left the workforce in 2019. I was a practicing attorney, and my story was that I was just unhappy practicing law in a law firm and going in to work for a 9 to 5 every single day. And it was then when I entered into that job and role that I realized that I wanted to be my own boss. And I just had no idea how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I I had for some time been dreaming about what it would be like to be my own boss and be in charge of my own schedule. But it wasn't until then that I started to actually think upon it and think it could be, something real that could happen. And it took a lot of time and process in order for me to get to that point where I felt like I could actually step out. And when I stepped out, I ended up starting a company called Certified Africa with my husband, and then also my own virtual law firm that allowed for me to move about freely and be wherever I want to be
Mm-hmm.
in the world. So that's a little bit about my story.
I love that because, I'm also what I call a recovering attorney. That's what I
Oh,
call us.
wow.
um, but I worked on in corporate America and executive roles in nonprofit. But I'm also a licensed attorney, and it's funny to me how many of us
Mm-hmm.
realize that the 9 to 5 is just not for us. And I have a lot of friends who are actually in firms, and they
Mm-hmm.
usually come to the conclusion even sooner because of how grueling it is.
Yeah,
Um,
way
but
more than 9 to 5, right?
yeah, it's way more than 9 to 5. And it's funny to me because the skills that you learn are transferable to so many different things. I found my legal education to be especially a good thing, even though being an attorney was something that I realized very quickly once out of law school that I wasn't really interested in being a practicing attorney, but I still was able to use the skills to do the other things that I ended up doing in my career. So I think you learn a lot of really valuable transferable skills, but yet you did a lot of us also realize that we really don't want to be attorneys, or that we
Yeah.
don't want to do it in the traditional,
Same.
sense. So I love that you actually have a virtual law firm. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about Certified Africa. I'm really interested in hearing more about that company.
So Certified Africa actually started with the premise of us wanting to make travel, relocation, and doing business in Africa easier
Mhm.
for Black travelers, Black people all over the world who want to connect to their heritage and their roots. They're interested in the African continent, but maybe they just don't know anyone. They
Mhm.
aren't sure about it, and so they kind of want that bridge, something that can help ease that desire to travel to Africa and do many other things easier. So we started that in 2019, and it's been an amazing journey. So we started with the travel piece, and then we started helping people also relocate with our coaching, and then we also help people do business as well.
Well,
So
that's
it's
really cool.
multi parts.
I love Africa. I mean, I've been a couple times. I've been to Ghana and Kenya, and then I've been to a couple countries in North Africa. And I've really enjoyed Ghana and Kenya a lot. I really love Kenya. I've been there a couple times. I really love Nairobi and would really like to go back. So I think it's cool that you're trying to make travel and relocation there more accessible to more people, Black people, so that people won't think of it as just, a continent that's inaccessible to them. Because,
Yeah.
there's
Um,
so many really wonderful countries in Africa, and I really think people are doing themselves a disservice, especially Black people, if they
yeah.
don't take the opportunity to visit. Can you tell me what inspired you to coach and describe a little bit the type of coaching that you do?
Yes. So I think that my inspiration of coaching comes a lot from my experience of wanting to do something different, wanting to go against the grain with my career path, with what I wanted to do, the thoughts of wanting to live abroad, but not really knowing anyone in personally or professionally who was doing that,
Right.
and not really knowing where to turn, and feeling like it was almost like inaccessible, like it was, like a dream, something that couldn't come true. And I think once I finally did get over that, I had this innate desire to also help other people realize those goals and let them know that yes, this can happen. Yes, people are doing it every day. They may not be in your circle,
Right.
but they exist. And so that is, that is what drives me to coach and to come up with our relocation program that we have that helps people move to Ghana.
So would you say you do primarily what we call now expat coaching, or how do you describe the coaching services that you provide?
We describe it as a relocation program.
Okay.
And so it's multi-part, multifaceted. We of course look at a person's goals, like what are their overall life goals, and how does that fit into Ghana? When they get there, how will it differ from the culture in the States, preparing them for culture shock, preparing them with all the documents that they'll need, and then also helping them figure out, okay, what will your income be? How will you get your income when you get there? Are you going to have a remote job? Are you going to start a business in Ghana? What does that look like? And then we also help them with that. Once they get on ground, we help them transition into, into living in Ghana, helping them find housing, making recommendations if they want to purchase land. It's a lot of different portions to it, and I don't like to push it as just expat, because one thing I don't want people to do is just come and just be in the expat bubble. The first time that I came to Ghana, I spent 3 months there, and I don't think I spent the entire 3 months that I was there, I don't think I spent any significant time with any expats. They were all Ghanaians, and it shaped my experience and allowed me to immerse myself in culture in a way that I had not experienced before, and open up my eyes, to so many different things. And so we want people to connect with local Ghanaians while they're there, as well as the expat community, and let them know that it's okay to do that too.
So you're basically giving people a full service relocation services if they want to relocate to Ghana.
Yes.
Like from start to finish, which is pretty awesome. And I really love what you said about trying to interact fully with the local population, because I live in Mexico now, and that's one of the things that I think is really important, is that you spend time getting to know the people that are not American. And I try to spend as little time as possible with expats, honestly, intentionally, because I want to learn Spanish and I want to learn more about the city that I live in and the country that I live in. And I don't feel like I can do that if I put myself inside of an expat bubble. Why would you say that coaching is important generally, and the coaching that you provide specifically is important?
Well, I do think in general, coaching is important because, if you have a goal that you want to meet, and you don't have an experience with it, you don't know how to do it, having a coach and somebody who can hold you accountable, somebody who's been through that experience, and someone who's helped other people, that can really help you meet your goal and achieve your goal, rather than you trying to do it yourself or researching or spending all that time alone. And so that's why I think it's important to have a coach. I didn't have an official coach, but my husband is quite the motivator, and so he helps me a lot when I was going through that period of time when I wanted to transition. But I think that specifically, why our coaching program is helpful and transformative is because it's not just us giving you information and then leaving you. It is very much the start of a relationship that I feel like is going to go past the coaching. It's a family. Once you come through our coaching program, not only are you going to learn about all the things you need to know to have a successful move, but now we're putting you in contact with all the other people who have moved through the program, all of our contacts. You now have a family in Ghana that you become a part of, and that can help make your transition smooth. And so it's very, very much a support system I feel like that people need and want when they're trying to have, when they're trying to go through all the emotions and then all of the technical stuff and all of the things that they need in order
You're helping them move, and you're also kind of helping them move with a support system,
yes.
so that their experience, which makes it more likely that it'll stick.
Yes.
Rather than, a lot of people go to places that are very different and they haven't done the work and they don't have a foundation, and then they feel like it's a failure, but it's because they weren't prepared well enough.
Very, very much so, especially when you're moving to a new culture.
Yes.
When things are just different, like little small things that you may not know can be the biggest, like, thing that sets you off, and it's like, I want to go home. But maybe if you had known, like, okay, this is how they do things there, that may not have set you off in the way that it did. So, and we have a perspective of both, coming from myself coming from the diaspora, from the States, and then of course my husband being and living in Ghana, and we infuse all of that through the coaching program and what we do.
In your view, I mean, how does being a Black woman impact the work that you do? And do you feel like being a Black woman coach, especially in the capacity in which you're coaching, is important? And if so, why?
Oh, it is so important for everything that I do. Like, Black women I am foremost a Black woman, and that is primarily who we serve. And we target the issues, the desires, the things that Black women go through, and I think that is super important in the work that I do, because that's what motivates me. I know other people have gone through the same things that I've gone through. You know, other people have dreams that they want to accomplish that they feel like they can't do on their own, or they don't know how they'll do them. And that's what we want to help people do. We want to help them realize, yes, it's possible. If you don't want to live in the US anymore, you see yourself living this dream life abroad in Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, wherever, it's possible to do so. Let us help you make that a reality.
Especially for the specific niche in which you work and coach, what kind of qualities would you tell someone they should be looking for if they're looking for a coach to support them? What would their ideal coach look like?
So I would say for this particular line of work, somebody who's going to keep it real, somebody who's not going to sugarcoat what they may run into, what they may encounter, someone who is of course going to hold them accountable, someone who's looking out for their best interest, someone who's not just about, okay, how can I do this program to get their money, but they care beyond that. They care about what your actual goal is, and what you want to achieve. And I think that those qualities will help them if they're looking for a coach, and that coach has those types of qualities. They will succeed in whatever they're doing, because it's more than just about just going through the program and the motions.
Tell us a little bit about what products and projects you guys might be working on right now that might be of interest to people who specifically are interested in moving to Africa and specifically Ghana.
Yeah, so we're actually doing a travel experience in 2022 that is a medium between you coming for just leisure or vacation, and then you full on getting up and deciding, I'm moving to Ghana, I'm packing all my stuff, I'm selling all my stuff. So it's more of an expat experience. That's what we're calling an expat experience. And you will come to Ghana for close to 2 weeks, with the possibility of you to be able to stay longer. And it's very much an immersive experience. And it's based off of some of the things that I've experienced when I stayed there for 3 months is very much you going to experience what it's like to be in a local Ghanaian home.
Mm-hmm.
When Ghanaians get up and go to work every day, what are the typical breakfasts that they have? What are the foods that they eat for lunch, dinner? Learning how to cook some of those foods, understanding the local culture, seeing if this is a place that you want to live, having some sessions around owning land in Ghana and what does that look like as someone coming from the States. Meeting other expats, meeting with Ghanaian entrepreneurs, and being able to network in that space. So it'll be, a 14-day expat experience that will really give you an idea of what it's like to live there long term. And it's not focused on, just the leisure stuff that people come and do when they're looking to vacation, but it's more about showing you what it could be like to live there long term and hearing from other people on the ground about their experiences. So that's in August of 2020.
And is it still open for people to book if they want to do it?
It is open on our website, www.certifiedafrica.com. You just search Ghana Expat Experience and it's up.
That's pretty cool. One of my I have a very close friend who is Ghanaian. And we actually share the same birthday. And I'm constantly like, when we going to Ghana? But we have not yet been able to get the dates together. So I'm hoping now that we're getting on the tail end of the pandemic that we'll be able to figure something out.
Yeah.
Because I like to go places with someone who's like from the you have a completely different experience. So I think it's pretty cool that you all are giving, like trying to put a very immersive experience even for a 2-week period for people, or 14-day period for people to have. Because it's always a lot more fun when you go somewhere new with someone who's from there, or have access to someone who's from there. When you get there, you have a better experience because you're not having the tourist experience.
Yes.
So here's my last question for you. What is one important thing that you've learned about yourself through coaching others?
I would say, wow, like, so much growth. I've grown a lot in these past couple of years, and since I've started doing the coaching, I've grown a lot. It has made me look within myself as someone coming from a totally different culture, and now moving into Ghana and living there at extended periods of time, and just really taking a step back and seeing what I truly like. There are some things that have been ingrained in me just by living in the States and being around people who do things a certain way. When I am going through the program and when I'm on ground in Ghana and I'm there for extended periods of time, I find myself enjoying things that I may have not enjoyed before. Foods, different ways of living, just different ways of carrying myself. And I encourage people to get out of the standard and the norm and experience something different where you know no one, and where you won't feel like you're being judged, and find out what it truly is that you like, not what society and everybody else you've grown up around says you should like. And so that is what I have learned about myself, that I like a lot of different things that are not normal to other people that I grew up around, maybe that they'd find peculiar. But I've challenged myself and been open to experiencing those things when I travel and go abroad.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about travel, isn't it? Is that it helps you, first of all, open your mind. And it definitely, especially if you travel by yourself, which I've done a lot, teaches you, learn a lot about yourself by doing it, because you have to spend time with yourself.
Yes.
Really spend time with yourself, right? And so what you're saying about how you learn things that you thought or that you were taught you shouldn't enjoy, or that you should enjoy, that you realize that you really don't or do enjoy, that you wouldn't have thought you did because you got to go somewhere else and experience life in a different way. It's really been a pleasure having this conversation with you. I really love seeing, and I don't want to age myself by saying this, but I love seeing younger people and millennials doing what you're doing. It makes me really happy. It gives me hope. That I feel like as you guys are figuring it out sooner than my generation did, that you owe it to yourself to get out of the trap of capitalism and of staying in the United States and not going. You guys are out traveling, and that's how you're discovering that there's a life that you can have.
Yeah.
That's different, but in a lot of ways better. And you're learning it sooner, than some of us did because you're willing to take the leap. So I've really enjoyed just talking to you and hearing what you're doing. I think it's incredible, honestly. And I wish you guys lots and lots of continued success. Ghana's a wonderful country.
Thank
So
you.
it's one I wish I had gotten to spend more time there. So like I said, I'm trying to get back to Ghana specifically and to Africa in the next year or so. I have a trip to Africa, but to Senegal planned in the next year.
Nice.
But I really want to get back to Ghana because I thought it was so beautiful and I enjoyed it. But I was working, so I didn't feel like I got the experience that I could have had. And I didn't have time to spend longer because I had to go on to Kenya, where I actually got to spend time, leisure time, and didn't have to work the entire time. So I feel like I'd like to go back to Ghana and not be like working so that I can really experience the country because it was really beautiful there and the food was great and I was staying in a really nice hotel but I felt like I wasn't getting to see a lot of things because I was working so much. So it's been really great talking to you and it's kind of like rekindled my desire to get back to Ghana as soon as possible. Thanks for taking the time to have this conversation with me. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it.